Hey, happy Halloween, everybody.
Ooh.
Ooh, doing a little bit of mood music there for everybody. Get the mood set. And I
Sorry,
thought
that was
the name of the song was Evening of Chaos, so I thought that was pretty appropriate.
yeah.
So how's everybody doing? We had a very fun weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, it was good. It was a good
It
weekend.
was good, then it was great, then it was sucky, then it was good, then it was tense, then we got home. There it is. That's the weekend. Okay, bye-bye. No, seriously. Um, the big story this week is that we went to Kentucky Sustainable Living
It's really
and
good.
went to the festival, very first festival ever, and it was pretty darn
Their
good.
first festival ever.
Their first festival
Yeah.
ever. And Rickster, I'm a tired homesteader. That's my costume tonight. Yeah, it's been one of those 48 hours.
Yeah, we don't do Halloween. We're out in the middle of nowhere, so we don't have to. The days of $500 worth of candy to pass out are long over.
Well, we did first year we were here. We did the trunk or treat.
Yeah.
And then we didn't do it. We
Last
didn't do it
year.
last year because we were at the kids' house. We were out of town.
Because we didn't know when we just didn't do it.
No, I thought we were doing something.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Nope.
We didn't do it last year. And then they're having trunk or treat tonight. And
We're
we'd
not
rather
doing
be
it.
here with you ghouls than those ghouls.
Yeah.
So let's see who all we got in the chat. Let's see here.
Dang, there's a lot of people in there.
Pax was first.
Hey.
Then we got Rosie. How you doing, Rosie?
Did she get your cart home?
Yeah, they had it all in her.
Well, I knew
all
it
in
was
her
there,
truck.
but I told her to be careful driving.
We got the Rickster. We got Silver Linings. We got Terminator from Snowy, Ontario, Canada. We got Tiger. We got Eagle Lover, Texas. Rabid Coyote. Who else? Grateful Hearts Ranch. How you doing? Mrs. Hack showed up too.
Hey.
And then Faith was kind of wondering what she stepped into. And then she told the story about how she smoked too much and they played punk music.
Okay.
in London.
All right.
Yeah, anything can happen. That's absolutely true. Anything can happen tonight.
It's so cold here.
Yeah,
I don't even know how they're trick or treating.
Oh, and Skeins showed up.
Nice Skeins. Oh, Skeins. Linda asked if I could give her your email address and phone number. So let me know if that's okay. You can just text me and tell me, and I'll share it with her. Hey, Ghost. Oh, did you? You need to order a T-shirt.
Oh,
for drop ship.
We need to
tonight.
Well, good of you to tell me. Good.
I just got the address.
Well, actually, we need to go through and inventory all.
I know,
our
but
shirts.
this one is already paid for, so it needs.
We need to go through and inventory everything and get a new order off to Ghost, and we're going to talk about his shirts because his shirts played a pivotal part in the weekend.
Yep.
But so the beginning of last week was not that eventful. I mean, it was nice. The weather was nice. It rained a little bit.
And I lost something here.
Where?
Somebody asked something about text, and I lost it.
Did you see my text about the new dehydrated items?
Maybe.
I'm going to take that as a no, Rickster.
You sent a text message, and I just kind of looked at it and went, nah, it's not going to work. But it was only one thing. I didn't think it was a lot. And then, I don't know, you're saying dehydrated. Maybe you mean freeze-dried?
Did you stick her back in her crate?
I did not. She's playing with Freya, apparently.
Hush. Sorry, the dog's been wound up all day long. Yes. Skeins says do it.
Okay. I will.
Skeins says do it. But it rained the beginning of last week, so we didn't get much accomplished outside. We got a cat attacking us now. Ever since we've been home, the dogs and the cats have been on top of us. It's rather
disturbing.
Yeah, it's getting. Yesterday it was cool, but today it's getting a little irritating. Hey, Homestead Ranch.
Hey.
Trick or treat, absolutely. So anyway,
already that was fast.
I
guess it's a school night.
Yeah, let's get on to the story.
What story?
And it starts out as a pleasant little jaunt and turns into a horror story. Trust me, it turns into a horror story. Anyway, so we left Thursday night. This one wanted to get out of here, so the hacks came down, and we left at 10 p.m. and we drove all night long.
10?
Yep, we left at 10. We left at 10, and it's about a 10-hour drive, 10 and a half if you make a wrong turn in Evansville, and the rest of your convoy leaves you behind. But that's okay. We were close by. But anyway, we drove all night, and she did a lion's share of the driving down there, which I really appreciated because I had been at work all day long, and then I'd been up since like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I did the last little bit. We got there.
Yeah, at 4:30. I was like, I can't do it anymore. Here's the keys.
We got there at 8:30
somewhere
maybe.
in there.
And the festivals at the Western Kentucky University Ag Center. A lot of you guys saw this. You were either there or you saw this on the live that I did Saturday. So we're gonna probably travel some ground we've already traveled with each other. But we got there, and we were, aside from the Bobcat guy and the tiny house guy, we were the first ones there. So we set up, and it was nice. We were able to take our time. As you saw, it was indoor. What are you looking at?
I can't see anything. And
Well, put your glasses on.
You don't wear your glasses. There's a gear.
Okay, why are you being nasty?
I'm not.
Man, look at that glow.
Face
Gene.
turquoise covering eyes.
That's an emoji that's in the YouTube chat, and that's how it translates.
Okay, that's stupid.
So Faith did the little emoji like this, and on our end it shows up face turquoise covering eyes.
Like I know what that is. I have
Yeah.
no clue.
So now you know. Anytime you see something like that, it's an emoji of some sort,
Okay.
and it tells you what it is. But anyway, so we got set up, and then we went and checked into the hotel. We shared the room with Skane's girl.
Passed out
Cold. She was taking Eric's Porterhouse's
class.
food forest class. That's what it was.
No soil, and the soil class, and so that, which was fine. That gave me an opportunity. I was able to just go back to bed and get some sleep. Well, needed sleep. So
No. While we were doing that, Terminator says she shut her garden down for the winter. Butchered 3 pigs last week and picked my meat up this weekend. Now it's going to pick up sausage, smoked bacon. My daughter and son-in-law did it all for me.
Nice.
Excellent. It's great having family nearby, isn't it?
Yep.
Family or community. And that's going to be the flavor of the topic tonight. Community. Well, you're really engaged. You tired?
I'm tired.
You're still tired?
Still tired.
Well, pretend that you want to talk to everybody.
I do.
But anyway, so we checked in the hotel. Little did we know that the festival was on the same weekend as the Kentucky State Band competition, marching band competition. And
Teenagers were like roaches. They were everywhere.
yes, the hotel Friday night and Saturday smelled like God, I can't even talk. Axe, body spray, and teen angst.
We went in to go eat breakfast. We were like, nah, there's a Sonic across the road. I'll just go over there.
Yeah. But, we survived it.
Which I swear, with the Sonic every morning, I told Garen I stepped on the scale when I got home. I wasn't feeling good because all the weird food. And I was just like so sick. Like, I think I was still sick.
Yeah. Patty says they were tired. They took naps today. I did not have that luxury.
I did not either. I did sleep a little late, so that was good. But then I was up trying to get everything
What's
done.
a little late?
9:30. And then I had to get the figure out what I was going to do with the freeze dryers, make sure everything was taken care of. I think I called you about noon or so. Hey, come swap out vehicles with me because I needed to run to Topeka.
And there's a reason for that. And we'll go into the details there.
Yeah, I wasn't driving the truck to Topeka by myself.
We got our rest, and then we got dressed, and we picked Skanes up, and we went to Jason's house. Jason from Kentucky Sustainable Living. Hey, Chuck, how's it going? And we had a really nice. They were grilling burgers, and
that was good beef too.
They had some sides.
Mm-hmm.
Shelly did cowboy beans.
Yeah, they're pork belly. Those are not cowboy
No,
beans.
they weren't cowboy beans.
Uh-uh.
And then Randy made some of
If she
his.
she may have did she call them cowboy
No,
beans?
it had bacon.
You were just coming up with
It had
something.
bacon and onions in it. It wasn't regular.
They were
pork.
baked beans.
It wasn't regular ones.
They were baked beans.
But Shelly
Yeah.
made that, and they were really good. And the burgers were good.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason's wife Whitney
Potato salad was good.
made some phenomenal. Was a baker by trade,
Mm-hmm.
and she made some phenomenal cookies and some cakes.
She did a good job.
And yeah, and so everybody, all the speakers, all the presenters, and guests were there, and we stayed until about 10 o'clock.
I have no idea what time it was.
Yeah.
Like time was not even a factor on anything except for what time to wake up.
Right.
So
And then we got to meet some new people. We met Aaron, Scott, and T.
yeah,
And
which we knew a lot about them,
yeah.
but never met them.
So if you guys don't watch Aaron T. Scott's web channel,
You should.
you should. It's she is a very, very interesting person and has a lot of insight.
Okay, I'm back. What did you do?
Didn't even know you're gone, Hacks.
And,
Sorry. But yeah, Chuck, it was a long.
It was a long weekend, but filled with a lot of amazing stuff. It was good.
So we
ahead.
got there,
Mm-hmm.
and
Talking about Saturday morning.
yeah, Saturday morning.
We got there late. Like we woke up on time. We even left before Skane's girl did, and we took the wrong exit. I really need to make sure I start wearing my glasses more when I'm giving directions.
Yeah, I got ready to turn off on the exit. She's like, no, it's that one down there.
No, you're supposed to go down there.
And so
15, not another exit for 15 miles.
Okay, so
Something about Kentucky is so
the
weird.
only place that Kentucky seems to have turnarounds on their highway that for utility vehicles or anything are underneath the bridges. Like they've got these great big bridges up in the mountain.
We'll tell you why we know in a minute.
Yeah. So she said, don't take it. And so we literally had to go 15 miles down to an exit to turn around.
Come
and
15
come back.
miles back to get our exit.
So Skane's left after we did and got there before.
Yeah.
And then Bobby and Data thought they were going to be funny and get there before us.
Yeah, we walked in right when they were
did.
like me in, and it's like we got lost. We didn't sleep in because but it was weird. I did a video. Garen's like, okay, stop, because we got our Sonic. And he's like, do a real quick short. And it didn't pop
she
up.
was up at 6, which is amazing.
And it didn't pop up until you posted the video with specs and Data.
Yeah. It never went public because I didn't make it public. Because the video with and don't call him Data. It's Patrick Henry.
Whatever.
Data is his slave name.
Oh, okay. Like this is a new thing. Okay.
Hey, Wes. But anyway, so we got there. We got settled in. It was really nice just being able to roll up and start working and not have to jack around with anything. The only thing we had to do is put the sun oven out.
Yeah. Hey, Wes, did you get with Jeanette and Mike today on a phone call for information? Trying to catch up and keep up with what's going on so we know when to. Yeah, I think I forgot to fill you in on that.
No, you told me.
Did I tell you?
You told
Okay.
me.
All right.
But we started working, and this was a very, as far as the vendor tent goes, it was a very different.
Well.
It was a different festival for us, though.
You know what? It reminded me a lot of what happened at Midwest and what happened at Self-Reliance. It was very intentional spending.
Yeah, he called them both.
Good. Today, right? Today.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, like we sold a sun oven at 7:30.
Dude, he followed me out. I walked in the door and he followed me downstairs to make sure he got one.
Yep. But it was steady business all day long. We came home with 2 sun ovens.
Yeah, and those are spoken for already.
And those are spoken for, and
we can get more. So if you guys want to sun oven, don't think like we can't get any more, because we can't.
Yeah, we can get more. We'll
actually just drop ship them to you.
Yeah, if you want a sun oven, we can just drop ship it.
Yeah.
Not going to discuss the actual money, but let's just say it was very lucrative. It was a well spent weekend.
Well, it was a good thing that it was a well spent weekend because of what happened. So We ended up with an extra hotel night.
Yeah.
Paid for another hotel for very
the
good
hacks.
friends
Yes.
that helped us, and then dinner and all of that. So yeah, and gas and stuff. So yeah,
You know,
it was a
so,
good thing.
Yeah. So, and Saturday was a good day.
Definitely, God was looking out for us.
Did not get to see any presentations. I did walk around before I did the live, and I made a video, and then say hi. Hey, say hi, Dolly.
She doesn't want to. She just wants to.
She's being shy. But I did do a walk around. I'm going to get it edited and posted sometime this week. But it's maybe a little bit more in depth on the speakers and or the vendor tents and everything. But it's basically the same thing as what the live was. Mm-hmm. And we had the Wi-Fi, and like I said, I decided, let's just do a live. I really wish that more venues would provide a good internet connection.
Yeah.
So you could stream reliably from these things, because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed walking around and showing everybody. I got to get one of those frames for the tablet, so I'm not sticking my finger in front of the camera like I was.
Yeah.
But,
did you see Shelly had a tripod?
Yeah, Shelly had a tripod, and Jason had a frame that like the tablet fit into, and it had a handle off to the side.
Yeah. So we need to do that.
I think I'm gonna save up a little money and invest in one of those.
Sure.
Unless somebody wants to send a super chat for me.
You're such a jerk. Don't ask that.
I am.
What are you doing, baby? What's the matter?
Yeah, you could buy a mobile Starlink and charge with venue wide and charge for venue wide Wi-Fi. There, you know what? It's actually not a bad idea.
Can we get a mobile Starlink with what we have? Don't lick my glasses, weirdo.
I don't know if it'd be worth it to have it all year round though.
No. We go to a lot of places that we don't have internet. So.
Yeah. But so that was
Saturday.
That was Saturday. The venue,
I think you did the live on Sunday though.
Did I do the live on Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Did I?
Yeah, because we had already had the fundraiser.
Oh, that's right. And I filmed the walk around on Sunday too. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we got done with the festival, and then they had a speakers. What'd they call it?
Skane's going to do a chainsaw video. I got a message from Brian, and Brian was like, well, since I'm not getting my chainsaw, I'm going to have to figure out something else to do with the trick-or-treaters. It's like, good Lord. He was going to use the chainsaw to cut up the trick-or-treaters.
Oh, we had a discussion. I told him a wood chipper, like one of those small wood chippers, would be good because they're small kids. But once you get past the preteens, one of those small two-stroke wood chippers probably would not do the job. Yeah. So you'd have to go bigger.
I don't know. It would depend on having it for the house.
Where are you talking about?
Having it for the house would definitely depend on, there's a lot of things in there. So first of all, we have farm sitters here. So we rely on internet here to get our phone calls out.
Yeah.
So that's important. And then I don't know if we'd be able to stream. I mean, it just depends. Well, I guess if you could stream.
The Starlink connection is going to be a Starlink connection.
The same, no matter what.
It's just a different satellite dish and a router.
Well, we'll look into it. Yeah. Stop it.
Manny's in a really
very, very cold, and his arthritis is acting up, and
so he's a grumpy bear tonight. Right. He's just growling at everybody.
Right.
Wes says rent a 12-inch chipper. Yeah, that for a teenager. That's good. I think so. Hey, All American.
Hey.
What's up, man? The season, the festival season is over, and we're going to start doing lives more often. And once we got another couple of weeks that we got to get through before we can do anything in earnest.
What?
We got this. We got the kids. We got Festivus. We've got to get caught up.
Festivus is until the 18th. Thanksgiving, the kids are going to be down in Arkansas, so we don't have anything going on for Thanksgiving.
I thought we were going down for Little Bit's birthday.
Well, if we're going down for that, we'll just take her birthday gift with her, and we can't go for her birthday because we have Festivus is the same day.
Thought we were going to go down anyway. But anyway, as I was trying to say, lives lives are going to be becoming more frequent. We got a lot of people that I want to get on lives with. We got some new people that we want to start.
Yeah, so Toby, we're gonna do one. I'll do one with Toby. Toby is the discount Mylar guy, that company,
Mhm.
and there we had, especially in our class, in our presentation, we had a lot of questions on that on Mylar, and Toby and I can break it down pretty well. We understand it, so just so that you don't have just my opinion, I'm gonna get you a professional opinion, and Toby and I will do that together. So that'll be here coming up.
Hey, All American, can you host it? Send me an email. Send me an email, and let's break out. Let's get a time.
Are you going to stream it on our channel? Can you stream it on our channel?
Yeah, I can stream it
without the same penalties as if we were streaming it. Are you
No.
sure?
No.
No.
But get a topic and a time, and let's set it up and let's do it. Tuesday nights are out, and
Thursday's usually pretty good.
Thursdays is when I usually do my live.
Yeah.
Don't want to do it on Friday. We don't like doing lives on Friday
because it competes with Life Done Free.
Life Done Free. Monday nights competes with Eric.
Right.
Thursdays competes with pinball, but I really don't care.
That's not nice.
No, Wednesdays compete with pinball.
Yeah, because pinball tries to work around you, and we don't do it.
I know.
On
I'm
Wednesday.
being a butthead.
So that's what I'm saying. Thursday is better. So
And I'm being a butthead.
Thursday's pretty clear right now. So, and then because anything that Nicole does, she does in the morning.
Look at that. He says he'll behave.
Well, if you'll behave, then we can host it. If you don't behave, then you have to host it. I mean, I'm just lining it up for you. So I've got way too many people, especially right now, and now I've got downtime. So, here's the deal, All American. Now I can start walking everybody through the canning and the questions, and I can start walking everybody through the freeze dryer and doing all that. If I'm locked down, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And I was literally trying to walk somebody through over the phone tonight, and it would have been better had I been just able to show her. Luckily, she's local. She's in the community, so that's not a problem. We'll get that going. But I was able to walk her through on the phone.
And I figured out over the last week we're
being throttled.
We're on their radar.
Yeah.
Some of my 2A and political stuff has gotten us on the naughty list.
Right.
So we have to
be very, very careful.
And unfortunately, that's the nature of this beast. We want to say what we want to say, but on the flip side, we have to play within the rules that they set, because like it or not, this is the best platform.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not that we're not saying what we want to say. We just have to be careful how we say it.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'll say screw the
you're
USDA.
You're gonna make All American feel
what?
I can't even. Words are having.
Here's the thing. He's a big boy.
You're being mean.
No, put your big boy pants on. You'll be fine. Good Lord.
Oh yeah, we'll get All American, and we'll get Rabbit on, and we'll get Corn Pop on all at the same time.
Oh dear God.
I bet we could get 3 strikes in one.
I bet you could. I bet you could. I bet you could.
I'll tell you what, All American. Send me a time and a
any Thursday except
a topic. Send me a time and a topic, and I'll host it, and we'll stream it on your channel too, and we will just tear it apart, and we will we'll dance on that line. We will dance on that line.
You can dance on the line, just don't cross it. Just don't cross it.
In America, out of America.
So if we get canceled, it's All Americans' problem.
No, it's not.
Fault.
No, it's not. I'm not. No, if we get canceled, I'm taking full responsibility.
And then everybody that wants to learn canning and freeze drying,
we'll just start another channel. We'll just start.
Whatever. Start all over again.
COVID was fake. There.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see if the algorithm gets that. I wonder if we'll get a strike.
Elizabeth, do not encourage him. Do not encourage him.
Hey, Potpourri, how you doing? Anyway, so back to the story. What? It was a speakers dinner. Is that what they called it?
Well, no, for the fundraiser,
Yeah,
is that
for
what
the
you're talking about?
fundraiser.
So they did Veterans for Child Rescue. It was a fundraising dinner. Basically, they had all of us speakers there, and people could buy tickets to come in for dinner as a prime rib dinner.
See, and you know what? I love everybody we met there that paid to be at that dinner. I love talking with them.
You know what was really fun about it is it just seemed like everybody who sat at whatever table belonged at that table. Like that is where God meant them to be, is at that table.
Well, and let's be honest, most of them bought tickets to see Billy and Eric and
which is
Chuck.
Hilarious because they were all sitting with the other YouTubers. There was nobody really in there that they didn't know.
So this one was we had to talk early in the morning, and some other things happened because this one upset Shelly because she was playing hard.
What are you talking about?
You were complaining about the meat, and then all of a sudden,
I wasn't complaining about the meat.
Yeah, for dinner, you were like, I can't eat that.
That's not what happened. That is not at all what happened. And so I messaged Shelly. I've been asking for a few months. I said, do we know where the beef came from? And they did ask. Shelly has been trying to get an answer for
You
months.
realize I was joking, right?
No, because other people don't realize that. So anyway, what we figured out when the gal finally replied was that it's basically Cisco. It was the university that, the cafeteria that actually did the catering. So there was no way that she was like, where'd the beef come from? And the girl looked at her and goes, I don't know. It's from the distributor. So that usually means I cannot have it. But it was all cool. We found, in fact, Jason told me about it. There's a Mexican restaurant up there and they make everything from scratch. And so
actually,
it's like cool. And it's
actually,
pretty
the
good.
roast beef was really good.
Yeah, but it would have sent me to the emergency room.
Probably.
I'm not saying it's bad. It tastes good. It's just the chemicals that's in it.
Skane says we need flashcards. We're so tired we can't think straight.
Right.
Yeah, see, Chuck knows the score.
What do you say?
Well, if I can ever get the dang thing to pop up. You just wanted to cause problems.
I did not. That's not what happened. And
there's more Chewy in this story too.
And so, but no, so Shelly totally understood. It was no big deal. I called ahead, I got my order, I picked it up, I came back, I had my food. Everybody else had their food.
So we ate, and what was the girl's name?
What did he say? I appreciate what?
Appreciates learning about Vets for Child Rescue after watching the other day.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's the more we learn about it, the more I like that organization.
Yeah.
What was the girl's name that sat with us?
Linda.
Mm-hmm. So this actually not a girl, she's a lady. And when we found out how old she was, we all thought she was lying.
Did you see her email as well?
No, I didn't.
She emailed me today, and so I will end you. And
there's the rock star.
Hey,
Billy. We were just talking about the dinner. Yeah, Billy. Oh yeah, Billy is a rock star officially now. Not just joking, officially.
He's up there singing and rocking it.
But anyway, so this one of the guests, Linda, sat with us. Mm-hmm. And she was kind of shy and introverted. No,
I think she just had a lot flowing through her head.
Well, and she
she had a lot throwing. She used to Homestead, and so this was in the email today.
Oh,
she used to Homestead, and she had to give all that up. There was a lot that happened, especially through COVID and all of that.
But super nice, and we had a really good conversation with her. And Jason came and sat with us, and he
which was weird because Jason wasn't sitting there, but they were all working. And then he sat. This is what I'm telling you. Like everybody that sat where they sat, they were meant to sit there for a reason. It was really bizarre. I mean, not bizarre. God handled it.
Skane's abandoned us and went and sat with Tag.
Well, what was weird is that she left her bag in the chair, so nobody else could sit there. And so it was like everybody thought our table was full. But it was interesting. And I'm kind of glad it happened that way because then that left empty seats so that Jason and Mike could come and sit down to eat. And they were actually part of the community that Linda needed to be introduced to.
Yeah, it was. Oh, did it happen?
What?
Did it happen? It did.
Oh,
Congratulations. Billy, you wanna
Did it happen today?
you wanna announce what Mrs. Hacks is talking about?
Dang.
so that we're not stealing the thunder. But anyway, so we did that.
I said that it would happen today around 4:15.
Hey, look, Chuck, how does Rickster place an order with you? See,
Dang. HomesteadMedical.com.
Skeins were meant to sit next to him. But anyway, so we had dinner, really good conversation.
I thought he was going to sit next
and
to
then the
Skeins at our table.
entertainment started. The very first song, the permapasture pimp himself got up and sang a Hank Williams Jr. song with acoustic accompaniment, and actually did a really good job. He was nervous, he said, but the kid playing the guitar told him to he's a grandpa, little June. When was it, today or yesterday? Angela wants to know. She wants to know. Hey, what are you guys barking at? See, I told you you're being.
Coyotes.
No, the coyotes are out. But Billy was up there singing his heart out, had the lyrics up and sang it and did a great job. I got up, not gonna lie, been hitting the Woodruff Reserve and the rum just a tad, so I had my lighter out and was doing the concert thing for him, and did a really good job. And then last night at 9 p.m., right about the time we got home.
Wow. Pretty cool.
Oh, because Knucklehead's outside barking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At the coyotes.
Okay. But congratulations. Hallelujah.
Yay.
Bet Michelle is just happy as
Over
can
the moon.
be, and the kids are just poor girl's probably exhausted.
I bet.
And William was really excited when we talked to him at the last where did we see them
This weekend?
William
Oh.
Back to the Land.
No, William wasn't there.
He was at Back to the Land.
No, Michelle was there. William
Michelle
was
was
not
at Back to
there.
the Land. William was not there. I tell you, folks, seriously, I'm so tired I can't think straight. I had a hard time. Words just came really, really hard for me today. But anyway, Starla wanted to know if artificial turf would act as a weed barrier. And I'm going to say
Probably not.
a qualified maybe, because most weed barrier is not, or I'm sorry, most artificial turf is not a solid mat. And if it is a solid mat, it's rubberized and it will deteriorate and the weeds will eventually grow up through it. So if you're going to put weed barrier down, I would put regular weed barrier down. Better yet, you can kill it, put a tarp over the top of it and kill it, and then plant some beneficial stuff wherever you want to put it.
Now's the time that you can do that. What do they call it? Lasagna
Billy being
method?
here made me up my game because I just gave a good permaculture answer.
Whatever.
But yeah, that's what I would do, Starla. I mean, I would not go with artificial turf, because then you're gonna have to deal with pulling that turf up with weeds and stuff growing through it.
Well, the really nice thing about the back to the dinner.
Yeah, back to the dinner.
The really nice thing is that that's what I thought, the weeds would come through it. But I don't know, my opinion. So the dinner, we raised just this between the speakers, the guests that were there, well over $10,000.
Well, they had a silent auction, and we had one of our cutting boards in the silent auction, but they accidentally gave it away at the raffle, which that money went to.
I told them to split it up however they wanted.
That money went to the
same place.
That's for thing too.
Yeah,
but they had what all they have in the? They had some good stuff in the auction.
Spiralizer.
The spiralizer, yeah. They had a really nice fire pit, and this one was like, I want that, and I was like, okay, how much do you want to spend?
I was like, whatever it takes to get it.
I said, how much do you want to spend? She
and
said,
then he gave me a limit. He was like $625.
No, you the one that said $625. So I said, okay, And I said 625 right out the gate. I was like,
and that's where the bidding started.
That's where the bidding started, and it just went uphill. And I was kind of leaning towards bidding again, and then it went from 625 to 750, and I was like, nope.
No, it went from 750 to 1200.
Yeah, well, it hit 1,000 at one point, and then
the same guy was bidding against himself.
Yeah, we had
1200.
People were getting so into the bidding that they were bidding against themselves. You know. All right, Starla, you have a good night. Go get some sleep. You guys got to keep you healthy. Putting it. Let's see. Got to go. Stop. Just ask that question. Putting in RV. We'll watch the replay. Okay. I understand where the question came from. I'm tracking. Yeah, raising the money was the best. That was fun. It was a fun auction. Bobby was the auctioneer, and I think there may have been a little Woodruff in him too. And he had a really good time doing the auction, and we all did.
Well, and then it didn't stop.
Yeah,
we can raise more money than this.
They hit $10,000, and people just started walking up and handing Shelly money.
No, that's why we hit 10,000. They were at 8,000.
And this one donated some money, and we got well over 10,000. And then this one really got caught up with it, and is like, all the proceeds from the Angry Pecker shirts goes. That's why we sold so many of your shirts this weekend, is because everybody was coming by and buying one of the shirts. I think we ended up selling 9 of them.
Yeah,
sold 9 of them.
That's right.
Yeah, over $11,000.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and so the Forrest, the guy that kind of runs the Vets for Life show, was not able to be there.
They were actually out somewhere
because they got a call in the middle of the week and said, "Hey, we got an operation we need to run now." So they all packed up their gear and they went and they ran this operation. And Jason actually called him on the phone after everything was over, and he was talking in the phone. They had the microphone up, and he gave us kind of a rundown on what they do and what their operation was that they were running, and how do I put it? He said
you need to be careful how you put it, though.
He said some stuff in the phone call that made our ears perk up. And all these big sporting events, the Kentucky Derby, the Super Bowl, the World Series,
they're hot spots.
All these events. In fact, the Super Bowl is the largest sex traffic operation in the country for the entire year. Every year, it's the biggest one. That's when the most sex trafficking and child sex trafficking happens.
Kentucky Derby behind that.
Kentucky Derby was the biggest one in Kentucky. Really eye-opening. And then, should I say something about the election?
I don't see why not. It's our channel. We do
okay.
What
and then he mentioned something about we need to be very vigilant, and we need to pay attention to what's going on in this country, because something may happen between now and
between now and April
that allows the powers that shouldn't be, as Billy says, to cancel the election.
All right, you guys, I've said it before. This is a war between good and evil. You all know I've always said that. And we need to make sure that we're praying, be prepping, stocking, praying, make sure that you're doing all of that. So we'll know what direction we're going in April.
And that's the good news. The good news that things like this are
preventable,
maybe on the horizon, but we've still got time. The window's quickly closing. It seems, but we've still got time. Right. So if you've got stuff that needs to be done, you need to think about getting it done sooner rather than later.
Get your houses in order.
And we were planning. That's one of the good things about this being the last festival of the season is we can start getting to work and doing some stuff that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. LJC says, I never knew about sex trafficking until a couple of years ago when I learned about the Sturgis rally. I'm from South Dakota, and they apparently call I-90 the Northern Pike and traffic many women and girls across it. Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah, we have 4 corners. I-75 is terrible. 70 highway is absolutely terrible. There's a lot of major veins.
All American
I-35.
says, I'm 100% sure something is going to happen. I know people in low places. You know what? You are not the only one.
Yeah, we got April. We'll know in April. And Friday of this week, that'll be interesting to see what comes.
Talking to Erin T. She is her brain's very analytical, and she's a numbers person. And she's been watching the numbers, and she said, we saw her yesterday morning before we headed out. Darren and I did. And she said some things that we watched all day long. And, and there are little things, and it's just a snapshot, but she was spot on about everything she said that would happen yesterday. So we're going to start paying more attention.
Silver rounds weren't quite at 30, but at $29.35, I'm going to say she's pretty spot on.
Well, okay. So what's Friday? I've been ignoring things. I'll be on the road to Buffalo.
Okay. So Friday is when the jobs report comes out.
Jobs report comes out, and the market yesterday was in a lot of flux. And she said, watch it, because precious metal prices are going to start going up. And she told us where they would be by the end of business yesterday, and they were pretty much there. And she made the comment that something could happen this next week to cause silver. In case you don't know much about numismatics, which is precious metals, silver has been artificially held at a low price, and as long as the market is stable and they can control it, they're going to keep it low. But if they lose control of the market and the dollar starts sinking, that's going to unwrap all the controls they've got on silver, and it's going to
possibly be somewhere around $450 an ounce on Friday.
And she's not the first person that I've heard say that about the unraveling of the controls, but she was pretty adamant that we need to watch Friday. So I don't know if anything's going to happen or not.
It may not, because they're the powers that be are trying to slow it down.
Well, and
you can see it in the stock market numbers.
And you saw that. You saw that with the spot price of silver and gold yesterday, because it jumped up and down and up and down. Right. Let's see, Julie Cook. Hey, I didn't even say hi to Julie. I'm sorry. Hey, I didn't say hi to Tamber either. Her truck started. I started to realize about trafficking in 2015. It's a very hard thing to come to terms with. I sure mourned for it a bit. This one, I don't know if we've talked about it before, but this one was really big into as an advocate for people the kids that were trafficking. In fact, they were trying to build a multi-bed unit in Kansas City, because Kansas City is one of the places where
it's a hot spot.
It's a hot spot, and they will literally take these kids and use them and then dump them out on the side of the road. So instead of those kids going immediately into foster care,
which they don't last foster care.
Yeah, they don't last in foster care. Instead of immediately going to foster care,
usually they'll go to foster care and end up right back on the street.
They were trying to set up a multi-bed unit so they could house these kids until they could get them home.
Doctors, nurses, therapists, we had it all lined up. And then politics got in the way.
Yeah, politics got in the way. Let's see. It may mean nothing, but Bitcoin went up to 33%. The 24th has been. And
Bitcoin's going to crash. I wouldn't get excited about that.
Yeah. Well, and I have this conversation with Bitcoin people. It's a fiat currency, just like our dollar, and it only has the value that somebody assigns to it. It's and to a certain extent, the same thing can be said about precious metals. But the difference is precious metals are a tangible item.
And legal tender in most states.
Bitcoin is not. Bitcoin, and eventually they're going to roll out FedCoin. They're going to put out their own digital currency. And when it does, or when the government does that, one thing about governments is they do not like competition,
Right.
and they will do everything they can to demonize and delegitimize and eventually make all the other digital currency illegal. And if you don't think, if some people don't think that will happen, they think that because of the nature of Bitcoin, the government cannot do that, but they can, and they will. It's a very easy thing for them to do.
And watching the money in every different country, as I was watching yesterday as we were traveling, Australia's went down, everybody's went down.
Oh, yeah.
There were two that fluctuated back and forth to either being down or unchanged. And I thought that was a little hanky.
Yeah.
Pretty damn fishy.
And then All American takes it right down to the root. It's computerized, and if the system goes down, all your wealth is gone. And don't get me wrong, there's some people that have used that system very intelligently and literally become millionaires, not Bitcoin millionaires, but real millionaires by using digital currency as to leverage things that they're doing. So don't think I'm poo-pooing digital currency, and don't think that I'm putting anybody down that does that. I think it's unrealistic to think that it's untouchable.
I poo-poo digital currency. Why do you want the government to know what you're spending your money on?
Well, Bitcoin,
I wouldn't do it.
Bitcoin and stuff, they can't.
Are you kidding me?
No, they can't.
Everything can be hacked and looked
What
at.
It's
in a computer.
What they will do is they will make it so using it is illegal, and then they'll catch people using it. And it's just like
I find it fishy.
It's exactly what they're eventually going to do to guns, only it's going to be easier. Because Bitcoin doesn't shoot back.
I can't talk about Bitcoin because I don't do it. So people that do it love it. So
yeah, Richard says wheat, rice, pork, and silver are going to be go up in price very soon. Yeah. Well, and there's
pork they've already been talking about.
Thanks to the weather and international politics, the wheat, there's going to be a wheat shortage, just because the breadbasket of Europe is in flames right now. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh, let's see here. Rabid Coyote says JP Morgan has been manipulating for silver for decades. Yep.
Spags must be mad. He hasn't popped in, and usually by now he's popped in.
No.
He must be mad.
I never did find out. I
guarantee you I guarantee you he found it, because he would be in here by
now. Until I hear otherwise, we are not going to talk about that. Okay, we cannot talk about that. Okay. If
he did not clean out the van today,
something
I would be
very
shocked,
funny.
If he didn't, it's going to be disgusting.
Something very funny, at least in our opinion, happened this weekend, but it was kind of a secret until it's exposed by somebody else. We do not want to tell anybody what it was. Okay?
Well, it's really sad, because Brian Griffin, when he saw the post when we were talking about keep your head on the swivel and heads don't be pig-headed, that kind of thing, he's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Faith K knows what we're talking about, but Faith K don't say anything.
Yeah, don't.
And so but I don't know, he may not be.
AG says he had nothing to do with it. You would appreciate it.
You would.
You will appreciate it whenever it comes out.
Say a bunch of country boys. So,
anyway. But anyway, so the dinner was really nice, and we sat around and we talked.
What did she say?
They know you didn't tell them, did you?
No,
they must have seen Jason then. They must have seen Jason then.
That's funny. So then when you saw my video, you didn't think I was nuts. I thought it was hysterical. He was picking on me, and there was at one point he even sent a meme, and I was going to the restroom, and we stopped to get gas, and Patty was passing me, and she goes, "Did you see your meme? No, it's funny. Ha 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 ha." And I looked at her and I said, "I'm not in the mood. I'm not playing." And because, I was still tired. There's a lot of crap. We didn't know if we were going to get home or not. And so she's like, okay. And she just walked away. And I guess she told Spags, she's like, Angie's not playing. She's not, like, this is not good. She's not in the mood. And so then it was funny, as we got down, they told me what happened and what Jason did. And I started rolling. And like, there's got to be a video in here.
See, y'all are talking too much.
He's going to be mad if he hasn't already found it all. I know.
They
It's been in
they probably
it's been
found
there.
it today.
It's been there too long.
They had to have found
I'm
it
sure
today.
Tag wouldn't let it sit in there
Yeah.
for that long. So,
But so we went back to the hotel, and so I took my AR with me. We go fully armed every time we go someplace. Travel across Illinois, and I hope somebody from Illinois is watching this, because we traveled across your state with an AR in the back, with a magazine in it, and with a fully loaded pistol that had a round in the pipe tucked in the seat right next to me.
oh, mine was in there too. Did you not know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, mine was in there too.
So we travel across there because there's no way we're going to get someplace 600 miles from the house and have society collapse and not have any way to protect ourselves.
Gross.
Well, you need to wash that thing.
I did.
The inside of that thing's nasty. I can tell
No,
that from there.
look, there's a fly flew in there.
Ew, gross. Here, fill this up while you're up, please.
You want water?
Yeah, just water. Yeah, Faith says us and everyone else in rural Illinois rides around like that.
Do what?
Faith says you and everyone else in rural Southern Illinois, they roll around strapped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, and we're not the only ones. Well, and you guys, if you guys watched Spag's channel, or was it on Tags, they showed that they were strapped too. But anyway, I wasn't going to leave that thing in the truck, and we get back to the hotel, and there are literally hundreds of kids running around the hotel. And so I'm walking in. I went out to the truck with my Carhartt and basically stuck the buttstock in the hood and walking around, and the rifle sticking out of the bottom of the jacket by about 8 inches, and it's all stiff, and it's obvious what it is. And I think Skanes was standing next to me. I was like, is this too obvious? But got it in there and got a good night's sleep. I finally rolled over it. Those two, Skanes and her, were talking. I don't know how late you guys stayed up, but at 10, I rolled over and was like, I'm done.
11.
I'm tired. 11. Went to sleep.
It was 11 o'clock.
Yeah. We all got a good night's sleep. This one even woke up in a semi-good mood, early in a semi-good mood. And went to the venue, and that's when we made the video. But whenever we got there before Bobby and Patrick, and she was not in the best of mood. She hadn't had her coffee yet, and but she was a good sport. And then we got over there, got everything set up. Rosie was a champ on Sunday because she went and got. I didn't even know that Dunkin' Donuts sold jugs of coffee. Yeah, like gallon jugs of coffee. Yeah,
I had no
Billy
idea.
says we're outlaws.
Have been. We're already on the list.
Try to be
more.
We want to have a song written about us one day. We want to be legends in the apocalypse.
Oh, not Bonnie and Clyde.
Well,
I don't want to do that.
Here's the deal, though, guys. Think about this. We've got a trailer with literally years of freeze-dried food in it. We've got multiple sun ovens that allow us to cook off grid. If we're out on the road and something happens,
we're screwed.
We're set.
We're sitting ducks.
We're set. We're both Gen Xers. We're going to be the first ones to become warlords of the apocalypse. We'll set up our own little shit hits the fan kingdom,
general store,
and rule the wasteland with our year's worth of food. Seriously,
that's gonna work. I don't think so.
Oh
man. Better when you say do what?
Please say words better when you say here's the deal, though. I have no idea what I said.
You always say here's the deal, though.
Okay.
You do.
Well, it is the deal. You know what? And I've said I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm a Gen Xer, and I just want to be left alone.
I'm natural born Southern, so I have no idea why that would be a bad thing. Less grammar, maybe. I don't know. Because I say alls too.
I'm trying to visualize Yoda just like Tina Turner in that Mad Max
movie. This
yep.
will never happen. Never happened.
Instead of Auntie M, it's going to be Auntie Ange.
No, never happened. Nope.
We don't need another hero. Sing it. Say it.
No, nobody wants to hear me sing either.
Yes, Gen Xers unite. Well, that's just it. But because we're all feral and we're all loners, it's hard for dude.
Feral and loners.
Yeah, we're feral and loners. You know, have you guys seen? I've been watching for some reason Gen X stuff popped in my feed, and I subscribed to this one Gen X channel.
Mm-hmm.
And have you seen they do all these surveys of the different generations, and they always seem to leave Gen Xers off. It's like Boomer, Millennial, Gen Z, but they don't have Gen Xers on there for some reason.
I'm gonna go get the heater for him because this is driving me nuts.
They just drag him in there by it.
You dragged the 150-pound German Shepherd in here.
He was not happy when I helped him up. There it is. It's called Box of Joe at Dunkin'. Yeah, there it is. Okay, we got sidelined. We were talking about Rosie being a champ on Sunday morning. But she went and got this, and then she went to the store and bought cinnamon rolls. And in her cart that Darren built, and you guys, Rosie, you've got to either send us a video or send us a picture of your cart so that everybody can see what a great job Darren did. Anyway, it had a toaster oven on it. So she was making cinnamon rolls and Dunkin' Donuts and working on tips. And everybody was getting the coffee and the cinnamon rolls, and all the tips went to Vets for Child Rescue. Rosie, if you don't mind, how much did you end up making off that?
170 is what she was able to donate.
Well, Angela says you did 170. So, but yeah, she did a great job raising some money for it. Again, we had our speech at 8:30.
8:15.
Well, that's when we had to be there. We didn't start talking.
No, it started at 8:15.
But we gave our speech, and we got a lot of good feedback. And everybody that saw it said they really enjoyed it. And
well, everybody that commented that saw it, put that way. Here, bud.
Rabbit says you get yuppie tears from Starbucks, not raw coffee.
It doesn't matter. It was going for charity. Who cares?
Well, it's Starbucks. They're talking about Starbucks, not Dunkin'.
Oh, Starbucks. Oh,
yeah, Starbucks.
Is terrible.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that people pay for the overpriced stuff, and I am not a coffee drinker. Okay, and I like supporting vet-owned businesses. But everybody I've talked to says that Black Rifle Coffee Company, their coffee sucks. And mind you, I worked in a military installation around uniformed service members who drink coffee like it's going out of style.
But I'm going to say this. I know Dunkin' Donuts supports military and veterans because they're on a lot of the bases. Yeah. So there's that. So.
But, see, who am I? You know what? Blackout has been getting a lot of new sponsoring a lot of people now, and everybody that drinks Blackout.
Never heard of Blackout.
It's a brother. It's a couple years old. It's not very old.
Haven't heard of it.
But everybody says it's good. Again, I'm not a coffee drinker. Can't stand the stuff. You think
you like the goulash? You like my
because
goulash.
It hides. But I told you could taste the coffee in it.
I use Nicole sauce coffee.
That just says how good the rest of the ingredients are if I can palate it with the coffee in there. Yeah.
All right.
Well, so when I was a kid, the kid I hung around with down the street, his dad was a delivery guy for the Folgers plant in Kansas City, and so they had a jar or a glass bowl on their coffee table, and his mom, they got free coffee candy things, but they
coffee
did
candy.
Yeah, they were coffee flavored candies, and they used the same mold for these candies that the A&W root beer candy came in.
Oh,
and she would mix coffee and root beer for some reason in the same bowl. So when you grabbed one of those
You
candies.
either got coffee or you
It was
got
like playing
Russian.
Russian roulette with your mouth, and it sucked. As a 7-8-year-old kid, I'm like popping, thinking I'm getting
You go home like all wired.
Yeah. Coffee nips. Yeah, that's what they were called. Coffee
Never heard
nips.
of those. That's funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. See, I like root beer barrel candy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we did our thing, and it was really well received, which I was happy. We're still relative new.
There's really never enough time to get a lot of the information out. And so then you always have those that always, there's a lot of questions and then a lot of comments and that kind of thing. And so it's very, very difficult to get everything down that you need to get down. But that's why I'm so receptive to everybody. Here's my email, here's my phone number. If you have a question, let me know. And I'm glad that I do that, because I've got a lot of people, they'll send me pictures and they're like, this doesn't look right. And I'll say, that looks beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about. So.
Okay. So Billy, if you're still in here, and Chuck, if you're still in here, I got a question for you. You guys have been on the circuit for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Do you ever get to the point whenever you're giving your presentations that when you walk away, you're not thinking in the back of your head, man, I hope that went well. And it feels good having somebody come up to you and tell you that they really enjoyed the presentation. And
I don't know if that ever goes away. I would even say with those two, especially because those two, they're like, because Chuck is, I'm not leaving here unless you know how to do it and you don't have any questions.
Well,
right?
I was an instructor. I was a firearms instructor,
time.
and I was a computer app instructor
mm-hmm.
for years in the Marine Corps, and it went away from me. It got to the point where I could give the class, and I knew.
Yeah, but that was military.
I knew whether it was good or not, and I knew whether the people received it or not. So I guess the question is, with experience, does it get easier? Does walking away after the class get any easier? But we did the class, and then we went, and again, it was a very lucrative day. And that was the one thing about this festival that was different than the last several we've been to. Number one, it was our most successful festival. But the two prior to that, what? Hey, get off the couch. Freya had her nose stuck down on top of the
chicken brooder.
The chicken brooder. Oh, we got to talk about that too. But
so much crap going on right now.
The last two festivals, people spent they used a lot of cash, debit cards, not credit cards, not the credit function, but debit cards. This one there was a lot of credit card purchases, and they were rather large purchases too.
Well, I think it was because they were large purchases.
No.
That's what I'm thinking. And then it was funny because some people, by the time they got to me, literally they're opening up their wallet thinking they have enough cash, and then they go through and they're like, "Whoops, we're out."
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
So if we were using festivals that gauge the economy, this one would have blown our opinion of what the economy's like out of the water. It was weird.
But you also have very different type groups of people. And so it was really interesting too. You always knew the first festival people that came because you just basically tell them, well, if you pay cash, I don't have to charge tax.
Right.
And they're like, I didn't know that. And I didn't bring any cash. And it's like, well, I mean, it is what it is. But now they know for all of the future festivals, just make sure you bring cash.
Yep.
Not a big deal. Starve that beast. Starve it somehow.
Oh, I forgot to say one of the things that Shelley, we had talked at Self-Reliance last spring, and she said she had something, and I was like, "Ooh, you got to get me some of those." And whenever we went over to Jason's house on Friday, she hands me this box and she says, "This is for you." I'm like, "What?" And she said, "Well, you asked for them."
And that was at the festival.
I could not remember having the conversation with her, but I opened up, and it was a box full of Jerusalem artichokes. There's about 20 or 30 of them in there, and I'm so excited. That's a crop, guys. If you if you're looking for an alternative to potatoes that is very hearty
and it's medicine.
and it will act as well. I don't know if you call it.
It is medicine.
But if you've got a diabetic in your household, you can substitute it for potatoes because the sugars in it break down in a way that it doesn't hurt diabetics. It's much better for them. Let's see. Faye says, I didn't have enough cash, Russell. I felt buying on my credit card, even if I could. Yeah.
Yeah, but Kate, that being said, you just go back and pay it off. So as long as it's paid off, it's not a big deal. But,
yeah, see, that's what she does that for a lot. She says that's what she does. And that's what the business, we use a credit card on the business because we get cash back on it. And so it's good.
Plus the fact it's really hard to get something ordered with cash.
Yeah. Rabbit says we need to keep the Jerusalem artichokes contained. You know what?
Oh no, we'd be happy if they spread.
Yeah, we'd be extremely happy.
It's medicine, guys. We'd
be extremely happy, and we've got animals around here that will take care of it.
Yep.
Inulin for artichokes. They give you gas.
I found a source. The source I get the edible frankincense and the edible myrrh from. They also, their sister company, and this is an all-woman brand company or woman-owned, or I don't know. I don't remember how they said it.
It's a very chatty company.
But don't be an ass.
They make great sandwiches.
But they have mullein.
Oh, cool.
I know. So I'm going to probably order some of that. They had the sassafras, but I'm worried about that because it's so expensive. Well, I was literally like ready to shut my eyes and go to sleep. But yeah, no. So it's expensive. I'm not sure. If we ordered some, it wouldn't be a lot. Because I don't know if anybody, I don't know. You guys tell me. You willing to pay $80 to $100 for that? I know it's hard to come by. I know it's very expensive, and it's probably a good price. Because
mullein is
usually
expensive or sassafras?
Sassafras.
Well, does sassafras grow in the United States?
No.
It grows in India, right?
This one is from, can't remember what country it's from. It is a responsible country. But I think it can be grown.
Richard's going to make vodka with blueberries and vodka with black cherries. Wish him luck.
Good luck.
Easy peasy. I've got 10 gallons of apple wine I need to strain out and clarify and start getting ready to get in bottles. But I probably let it. I hope it didn't turn into vinegar over the past week or two.
Yeah. Oh, so then to finish up, so the festival wrapped up. We got everything packed away and got all that done.
So Rabbit says you can raise it. Sassafras trees in the United States.
Oh well, I don't have any.
No, I'm thinking of. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so it is a U.S. company, and it's the same one I'm getting the frankincense and myrrh from California. Okay. So, and this is their sister company. So I was thinking about doing it. The issue is that it's like retail $89.99 a bag.
Turmeric's what I'm thinking of.
You can grow turmeric here.
Can't use it. Okay, then it's not turmeric.
And you can grow ginger here and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, so I just got to figure out if that's something I want to pull on. I had a lot of people, now that I've got the herbs and everything, I have a lot of people, I bet that was wonderful. And good.
Well,
and so
he's telling us about it. And
he didn't say it tasted good.
No, he's telling us about it, and nobody died, so I'm assuming it was good. Or he would be.
No, I bet it was wonderful.
He would be like, he's dead because.
Well, it's a savory, so it would be just like me going out and picking savory out of the garden.
I'm assuming because he wasn't telling us that it sucked, that it was okay.
Anyway, so but yeah, so then we wrapped everything up, got everything loaded. Everybody had conversations as to whether or not they were going to stay or go. Garen wanted to stay another night. I was like, no, we have to get home. The kiddos are watching the house. We have to make sure that they can get home. We've got to get back. And
saffron is what I'm thinking.
Saffron. So, saffron and not sassafras. It is saffron.
So I was right. It was from India.
The red one, yes. I'm tired. Leave me alone. And so Garen was like, no, let's stay. And I was like, no, we need to go. And then really funny Tag's Bags and Pat had a conversation, and Tag wanted to stay and everybody else wanted to go. And Tag was like, nope, we're staying another night, or vice versa. I don't know. Anyway, somebody wanted to go.
Tag
and
wanted
then,
to get home.
And yeah, Tag wanted to get home and everybody else were exhausted. So they didn't go, they stayed. And then, so Patty and Darren were supposed to leave and head a different direction, but they were waiting on Billy to be able to say goodbye. Somebody came up to Billy. We have books for you in the car. So Billy went out there, and then Billy got to talking with them. Thank God. So Darren and Patty didn't take off. They were late getting out, and it was getting late.
So
anyway, we got 5 miles down the road on the highway, and we were towards the bridge. Thank God we were not past the bridge.
We were going up.
We were going uphill, and the hose on the Allison transmission,
the transmission coolant line,
blew off.
Well, we were going up the hill, and it started revving. You know, you could feel the transmission rev and then stop, rev and stop. And so we pulled over, and I called Darren and asked him about it, and he said, well, shut it off and turn it back on, because sometimes
it'll reset.
The Allisons have a computer control chip for the transmission, and if it gets too hot or something happens, it'll throttle it down to keep it from ruining the engine and ruin the transmission. So I turned it off and I turned it back on, and I felt something, you know, the feedback you get through the brake pedal whenever you're pushing on it. I felt something give right then, and put it in a drive, and the transmission just goes and spins. And I was like, oh, that's not good. We couldn't move anything. So I turned it off, and it's still somewhat light. It's misting on us. There's mist coming down. Thank God the festival was inside all weekend, because it rained. It
could have been miserable.
It would have been really miserable.
Yeah.
And I get out and I look underneath.
That's why we sold so many sun ovens, because it was overcast and raining on Saturday, and I was still cooking.
It was, but I looked underneath the truck, and there's transmission fluid pouring
everywhere
out the bottom of the truck. And all I could think of, in fact, I'm not going to lie, I almost started crying, because all I could think of was the transmission was dead.
Yeah, he was like, really, you could tell he was getting really upset. And so he came up to the window, and I'm sitting there smoking a cigarette. No,
it's an $8,000.
But you have a way of overreacting. And so,
I'm sorry,
$8,000. He didn't even know what the problem was. So there was no need for that.
Well, I don't want to hear
it. And anyway, he came up. Upset. Why did I get upset? I had tears in my eyes, because I had 2 kids who wanted to be home with their parents, who were lonely and needed to get home. And I knew it was going to be a hardship for them to have to stay. So anyway, he gets in there, and I told him what Tag always says. And he says, you can let this one bad problem ruin the rest of your day, and it's the worst thing in the world, and nothing else is ever going to go good. Or you can just calm down, figure out what the issue is, and figure out how to fix it. And I told you that. And so then all of a sudden, he walked away a little bit, but you could tell he was thinking. So it was really funny. Yeah, Darren and Patty were on the way. They were coming in to look at it, see what was going on. You had Spags, Tag, and Patrick on standby. So they were going to take me home in the morning. You were going to stay. We had Jason, who was going to come pick up the trailer off the side of the highway if we couldn't get it anywhere. And then we had another backup. No, those were the backups. And so we had it covered. And
we had a plan. I'm not going to say we had it covered. We had a plan.
Either way, it was covered.
Yeah.
And so it was just amazing that everybody was there, because here's the deal. Had we all done what we wanted to do, and it all worked out the way that we wanted, you and I would have been by ourselves.
Yep. And
we would have been stuck in Kentucky right now, because Patty and Darren would have been gone. Mm-hmm. They would have already been headed out, and Tag and them would have already been in Kansas.
Did I miss?
So we would have been. Do what?
Did Indiana Mike come in here?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he did.
Did he? So it was just amazing the way that it worked out, and God took care of everything. Yeah, it was great.
But Patty and Darren rolled up, and Darren within 5 minutes was able to figure out what was wrong and what had happened.
Yeah.
What had happened was the metal crimp, the factory crimp on the pipe, had loosened up, And as we were going up that hill, the pressure just popped the hose off.
Yeah.
Just popped it off the end of the hose. And
you know what, Billy, if we could grow wasabi and saffron, we wouldn't be millionaires because G would never leave the land.
yeah,
We'd be living in hammocks.
we'd be living in hammocks, but we'd have wasabi and saffron, that's for sure.
Wasabi peas, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, I gotta clear the air. I gotta clear 90% of actually any wasabi that's made outside of Japan is horseradish.
Right.
It's horseradish is what it is, because the only place you can grow real wasabi is in Japan.
So we had an issue too.
And when I was in Japan, I got hooked on the stuff. That real wasabi is off the chain.
Yeah, so we had an issue too because he was like, I want wasabi peas, freeze dried wasabi peas. And I was like, sure, let me go figure it out. And so put the peas in, got some wasabi sauce, put it in the freeze dryer. I'm sorry, it didn't work.
No. We got freeze dried peas. We got freeze dried peas
with a dull wasabi
a little
sauce.
tingle. That was it. They're not wasabi peas. So if I can ever figure out how to get it on the peas, we'll have wasabi peas. But I'm thinking it's going to be a big chore. I think they make the wasabi peas the same way they make jelly beans, where they put it in a rotator and pour it in and let the stuff coat as it spins. He
keeps telling me, he's like, well, the Amish sell it. They do it. They do not. So those are bulk orders outside, and then they break down the bulk, and that's how they sell.
There was a guy in Lawrence actually growing wasabi. There was an article written about them in Mother Earth News.
Huh.
I got to find that guy.
I wonder, he was probably doing it in a greenhouse, yeah?
I don't know. Probably. Oh, he had to be. He had. Well, it's a cold weather. It's a cold weather plant, because I remember it'll grow all the way into the early part of winter.
Well, then we could be growing it right now. It's freezing outside.
In fact, if I remember correctly, they have to let it go through a freeze for it to get the kind of like horseradish.
We definitely already have wasabi.
Yeah. I may be mistaken.
No, you need to find out. Investigate that.
I'm sure there's more to it than just putting it outside, though. But anyway, so we called a tow truck, and the tow truck guy, I had never had a tow truck show up this fast. It's like the dude was literally right down at the bottom of the hill.
Like, the whole thing was just bizarre. Like, we hadn't eaten. We're all hungry. It was just weird the way it had, like, he was there in 5 minutes.
Yep. And his name was Austin, and the company, if you're ever in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and you need a tow,
Felts.
Felts.
Right.
Felts Towing
in Bowling Green, Kentucky
is the company to use.
Yeah.
They did a great job.
And he was able to haul the truck and the trailer.
Yeah, he brought it. He was laughing because he got halfway up the mountain, and he's like, oh, they said they're coming from the ag center. I hope it's not a fifth wheeler full of cattle, because apparently that's a thing.
Right.
Towing those is a thing.
Yeah.
But he got the truck up on the trailer and hooked the trailer up to the back of his truck, and we took the vehicle back down to the ag center and dropped it off. And then we went.
But in order to save not having to drive 20 miles and then 20 miles back, he was really cool. He goes, okay, whatever you do, watch me. And when I turn, he goes, you immediately follow me. And he said, do what I do. And we're like, okay. So Garen gets in the car and he tells Darren, and Darren's like, what? And it's pitch dark, pitch black. And so you can't see anything. And Garen said, just follow him and do it when he does it. And sure enough, they wait for all of the highway to clear out on one side, both ways. And then next thing you know, the tow truck goes, and then Darren has us going right behind, and we pull in, and it was weird.
5 minutes later, 5 minutes later,
we were at the ag center.
We were dropping everything off at the ag center. Luckily, there were no events
before Monday. O'Reilly's closed even.
Yeah, O'Reilly's was still
so
open.
We were able to make it to O'Reilly's to go get parts that we thought we needed.
And then go to dinner.
And then we were able to get to dinner before all the restaurants closed.
Yep,
we didn't have to have nasty fast food.
We left. When did we leave there? 4 o'clock?
At O'Reilly's?
No, when did we leave the ag center to go?
It was about 4.
We left at 4, and by
think.
8:15 we were sitting in Chewy's having good Mexican food too.
Yeah, they make it from scratch. It's really good. Yeah. Okay, tag. Did Spags was not on here, so I'm assuming he's either very upset
We're very tired.
or very tired, or did he clean the van today?
Did he clean the van? We got to know.
Everybody's wanting to know.
And apparently it wasn't as big a secret as what we thought.
Yeah, because we've had a lot of oink oinks in here.
Because we had some people that were at the festival say they knew about it before we did.
So I'm just curious if he found it or not.
But so we got a hotel room, and we got Darren and Patty a hotel room. Had Skanes met us. Skanes met us for dinner. She had a margarita.
Yeah, I called Skanes and I was like, "Have you eaten yet?" She's like, "Oh, girl, I just got back." She went to Lone Star, whatever that is,
something like that.
And so then it was some steakhouse, Roadhouse Steakhouse.
Not everything is at it as it seems.
Oh. Now there's another
secret.
under secret in there.
Another secret.
That damn hoghead better not be in our trailer. Is that hoghead in our trailer?
I don't know. I hope not.
I hope not either, because we haven't cleared out the trailer.
I didn't clean it out today.
We will go be picking up Spag's ass and Jason's ass and Tag's ass, and they will be cleaning the trailer.
I don't know how they could have put it in there.
I don't know either. It was locked.
See, they've got you so.
I think Jason wouldn't lie. It went into the.
I don't know.
Jason wouldn't lie. Not like that. Pretty funny, huh? It is funny.
So anyway, we slept the night. Actually, I rolled over at midnight and I was like, I'm going to sleep. We got stuff to do. Those three were still talking, unpacking the festival. And then we got up. I was up at 5:45, went down, and Darren.
Do what?
Just remember, I didn't have anything to do with it.
I didn't have anything to do with it either. I just thought it was funny.
But
and it kind of worked out well because he was teasing me pretty harsh.
Need a live stream to walk through the trailer. Yeah, Tags.
What do you say? What? He's going to do a live stream to walk through it?
No, Faye says we need to do a live stream. Tag's saying that this is too much fun.
Oh, so he's been joking. He's been pulling everybody's
Okay,
leg.
guys.
It's a rumor.
We need to pull our money together so I can get a great big boat paddle. And I'm going to have professional.
No, it needs to be a soup spoon.
No, great big boat paddle. And I'm going to take it to somebody and have them engrave on it, shit stirrer. And then I'm going to give it to Tag because he is the paramount stirrer of stuff.
Head interested in is a barrel of what? Barrel of whiskey. Yeah. Whiskey. Now, so they butchered a hog.
Skeen says she went to Roadhouse for her new favorite drink.
Jamaican Cowboys. And
okay, out of context, that sounds really bad.
I know it's a drink. It's just what they call a drink. It's a special drink. And but no, so anyway, they butchered a hog and on Saturday. Yeah, hog on Saturday, chickens on Sunday. And the hog's head supposedly by rumor ended up somewhere.
Yeah.
For somebody to find. But
change the subject real quick. Yoda, what is that natural medicine for breathing?
Myrrh.
Frankincense or the myrrh? Is it the myrrh?
Mm-hmm, myrrh.
Yeah.
And you said you wanted half pound of each, right? So I've got more ordered. I sold out this weekend, but it'll be here by the end of the week.
Chuck says Tag is just misunderstood.
No, he's not misunderstood.
Sarah says a great big crawfish paddle.
Probably.
Aren't crawfish paddles nothing more than boat paddles?
I mean,
I always thought they were. Seriously. Yes, Tag is very misunderstood. No, we got your number. Yeah. But anyway, so we got it fixed, and I did that short, and I showed everybody the way it was. 2 hose clamps on the bib, and then
a zip tie.
Several zip ties holding it on. So even if the clamps came loose.
Did you get the hoses ordered today?
No, I've got to do that.
Yeah. So we're going to order 6 new hoses, and it's just the age of the truck. But it's like I said, It's an Allison transmission and a Duramax engine. And, those will go a million miles if you take care of them. So, you have to imagine at 300,000 miles, it puts some wear and tear on the vehicle. Plus, we live on a gravel road, miles and miles of it. So it's just time, you just have to keep up with maintenance.
So Darren was doing some research about it, and apparently that transmission system works between 50 and 250 psi. He said normally it runs 50 to 80 psi. 50 at idle and 80 when it's underway, and then we're hauling a big trailer up a pretty steep hill, and it was more. But the ones he found were a high performance set of hoses with the crimps and everything on it that's rated for 3,000 pounds. So realistically, once we get those hoses replaced, we should never have a problem with the hoses again. The truck will
for at least another 300,000.
Well, theoretically, the truck should fall apart before those hoses fall apart because they're so beefy.
Even up to 1,000,000 miles, because it's like what's in a semi truck. So
yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a matter. I got to crossing my fingers that the company's not having supply problems, and we're going to get those. I was out there. I checked it today, and it's still not leaking. So
what did he say? You get something?
You got
something. Oh, you got something.
But
we got something.
I don't know.
We didn't get anything. He couldn't. We didn't get anything. He couldn't even get into our trailer.
You're gonna be up all night long. And
I'm not gonna be. I'm not. I'm too tired for it. And 3 or 2. See, I can't even think about 2. And 2, he's just an instigator. But, he likes to. So you guys gotta understand. Tag is like he thinks it's his position to be my big brother and try to make me want to kill him. I love him, tell you what, and he takes care of me. But
Faith, if there is something in the trailer,
there's nothing.
I will be sure to let everybody know.
Yeah, but there's not.
And I will film Angela's reaction when I tell her, just so that
and don't lie either. See, even Tag's laughing. He knows it's true. He just feels like it's his position to give me a hard time.
But
what drives me nuts is that, like with Tag, I love him like a big brother, even though he's 6 months younger than me, which he likes to remind me of a lot. And so, and I know that Tag loves me.
You think Spags is like a brother too? Maybe the obnoxious little cousin.
Yeah, maybe like we don't hang around as much. You know what I mean? Like Rowdy and I do. It's just when things get pushed too far. Like, okay, so here's the deal. So I like Bobby, don't get me wrong. And so Spags and I, we get along, and I know that I would be there for Spags, and Spags would, hopefully, he'd be there for us. He does encourage us and helps build us up. So yeah, no, definitely. Don't get me wrong there. But Tag has a way of like instigating and pushing people. And so Tag will instigate Spags to do crap that he knows will bug me. And so then so the trip down, did you guys bug Yoda? Did you make sure you did videos? Did you banter back and forth with Yoda? And they were like, no. And Tag literally got on to them for not bantering and posting videos. And then I felt bad because then Faith K, she's like, nobody likes it when mommy and daddy are fighting. And so
that's just it. They weren't fighting.
We weren't fighting. We were just playing. That's all we were doing was playing. And then, and even I thought it was funny when Brian Griffith was like, on that one video, he goes, what the F ... are you talking about? And I was just rolling laughing. And I thought on the live we would be able to tell him, and apparently we cannot. So it's still a puzzle for many, except for those that were at the festival. There you go. If you want to know what's going on behind the scenes, you got to make sure you show up to the festivals. I mean, it's just,
and quite frankly, if there is something there, I don't get, as long as it doesn't ruin anything, I don't give a shit. Not supposed to curse on the things. I'm sorry.
I know there's nothing in the bed of the truck. I'd be more worried if it was on the way out to Kentucky because of what that trucker did in St. Louis. So I'd be more worried about that. And I don't know.
That makes no sense.
Well, like if he, instead of like waving like that, like maybe he was trying to tell me, hey, something's hanging out. But I told you, I said, well, Darren's behind us. If something's hanging out, Darren will radio and let us know.
It was probably somebody that
Some
knew
viewer or
us.
something. I don't know.
We were going through St. Louis and it was like midnight,
It was so
2
weird.
o'clock, and she said a trucker drove by.
He like not just drove by. I passed. He was coming into the lane, and so I pulled over so that he can get into that lane because he was trying to get around another truck, and I ended up passing him. I got pretty good lead on where I was. Next thing you know, he just comes and like kind of gets ahead of me, and then puts on his brakes and slows down, and then just gets right in front of where we are. And the window rolls down, and he's doing this number.
Was he waving with all his fingers or just one?
All of them.
Okay.
But it was maddening. It was like this. And so I was like, cool. And truckers wouldn't just flip you off anyway. They usually honk their horn and tell you, scream obscenities.
Milkmaid showed up.
Hi.
But so we made it home. We made it home at 9. The animals were all over us. The truck's not leaking.
Oh, it's not leaking anymore?
Well, it's got seepage. Again,
that's leaking.
Out of context, that's a really bad statement. Anyway, that they're all weekend long. People were saying stuff that, taken out of context, just sounded terrible. So somebody that was standing 5 feet away that was not paying attention to the conversation would have gotten a completely different picture of what was going on than what was actually going on. Anyway, yeah, and had to go to work. Got up. It was cold. It froze last night.
It was cold in the. Oh, that's the other thing.
So all our tomato plants and any of the herbs that we had left out, we were going to get this week.
So the kids missed the note that I left on harvesting the green tomatoes before it got cold, because I said, please do that before Sunday. It did not happen. And I know them. If they'd have caught it, they would have done it. Mm-hmm. And then the house was freezing cold, and they had been freezing all weekend. And when I got home, I'm like, damn.
Well, their mom called us on Sunday and said, it was Monday. Can the kids turn the?
No, it was Saturday or Sunday.
Can the kids turn the heater on because?
And I'm like, yes, of course.
Oh, and there's another good one too.
I was like, yes, of course. So they turn the heater on, and then I come walking in, and I'm expecting, well, the heater's on, it should be nice and warm. Dang, it was as cold as outside inside the house, and I was like, what in the world? So I start running around. There were windows open.
Yeah, because we left the windows open because it was nice when we left.
It was nice when we left
on Thursday.
And so I ran around. I closed all the windows, got the space heaters going, turned the heater on. Space heaters started to make a difference. The ignition, what'd you call it? Electronic ignition.
So we don't have a pilot light on our heater, and I think the ignition is going off because I'm having to go in and turn it off and turn it back on to get it to work properly. So.
So the kids literally were in the house with no heat.
Yeah.
All weekend.
And it wasn't cold whenever they got here, so they didn't have proper.
They didn't have proper winter clothes, even though they just lived down the street.
So we're getting things squared away. The kids, mama brought them stuff over, and it was all good. They stayed the extra day, which they came over today when I came home for lunch, and they came over today to get paid, and I.
Karen's like, you better give them extra.
I gave one of them a hug and a handshake to the other one, and told them they saved our bacons because they really did.
They did.
They really did.
Yeah, we could have come back to an entire mess.
Yeah, it would have been bad.
We'd have had animals out everywhere.
Well, and that's
starving animals.
That's the thing. That's the thing about that I was talking earlier. Community. Hey, Homestead twins, what's up, guys?
Hi.
The having community. Again, this is an example of why community is important. We set this up, and I think had that happened to anybody else in our community, it would have turned out the same way because we would have been there to help each other and do everything.
Had I known the extent of what was going on, I also know that I could have made one phone call to Bethany, and she would have been over here in a heartbeat, or Mike or Jeanette or whatever. Yeah. They would have been over here in a heartbeat to make sure that the furnace was working and all of that. They would have known how to do all that. And but it just, I did not know the extent of everything that was happening.
So this you know, it's one of the things that was a big conversation point. Even in our class, we talked about community. It wasn't really a class; it was a discussion.
The food preserving. If you want a good variety of food preserving, you better build a community.
Right.
You better do it.
And it was something a lot of people were interested in. And that was another thing about the festival. And anybody that was there, tell me if you saw this too. There were a lot of new homesteaders, preppers, and first-time festival goers, more so than any other festival I think we've been to, and it was really good.
I don't know about that. Barbara Sue and her husband, they're farmers. They've got a homestead.
I talked to a ton of people.
Yeah, no, there were, but I think it might have been 50-50.
But so
what was that about tribe?
Rabbit says tribe's the most important prep.
Yeah,
it
is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things that it unfortunately it does take time. It does take time, but if you learn from our mistakes and other people's mistakes, your time frame, if you're starting right now, your time frame is going to be cut diametrically.
I would say probably the thing that takes the longest is to build that core. And I think once you have that core built, I think the community comes a little faster.
Right.
What do you say?
Wes, who? Tag,
what do you say?
Met some great people.
Yeah, there were some neat people there.
Wes, that was an option, but I did not want them doing it because we had not.
Not these. They're not comfortable with that, and so no. Plus the fact that it had been raining, and all of that, so all the wood was wet.
And it's the first. Well, it's under the thing. The wood wasn't wet, but it's the first fire in the stove.
Well, and so it's also we haven't been gone this long.
It could leak.
And I'm almost wondering if Amber didn't try to start a fire because there was a lighter over there that I hadn't seen and that kind of thing. So it's possible that it was attempted.
But Amber would not have tried to start a fire with all that stuff on the stove. She would have cleaned it off.
No, some stuff had been moved like that. So the plastic, I put that on there.
But anyway, it ended up being a good weekend. It really was. And Tag's right. There were some great people there.
Yeah.
Some of the vendors I talked to were awesome.
Yeah.
In fact, a couple of them are talking about trying to make it out to Midwest Preparedness Festival.
Yeah.
The folks that had the hoop house, the high tunnel.
They're talking about being out there.
Talking about being out there, and great people.
And depending, I have to get confirmation on this, and I need to get it quickly. So hopefully it's going to come quickly because we're dealing with a major corporation. Son Oven is interested in coming out, but I have to get them on the calendar for the All American Son Oven Cook Off.
Yeah.
And so we will do that, and then have a Son Oven donated, etc. So anyway, I just have to get confirmation on that. So Midwest Preparedness Spring Festival is, if everything is going like everybody says, looks like it's going to be a pretty big one.
Yeah.
That's one to mark on your calendar for sure.
Well, and like I said in that live, for being the first festival out of the gate for Kentucky Sustainable
Living,
they
did a fantastic job.
Festival.
Yeah.
They gave all the speakers these really nice.
We got some cool mugs, and they're interchangeable lids. Yeah. There's another lid with a straw.
But it's
and the nice thing, we had a green room. The green room was amazing. That was great
with Whitney's cookies.
Yeah,
I was so off program.
The reason why a green room is important is because you're literally, especially vending and speaking, when you're doing all of that. You're constantly talking to people, and guys, we're all human. And so sometimes we just have to take 10-15 minutes, get off of our feet, take our shoes off, put our dirty feet up on the couch, just kind of relax for a minute, drink a Coke and shut our eyes and just chill for 15 minutes.
Yeah. See, Rabbit, that's the same thing with our stove. We try to dust it off, but that first fire is to burn off all the stuff.
Dag, a pig roast, you need more than the head. You need the body, man.
He's poking at you.
Why? I'm laughing. I'm not getting mad. He can't upset me.
But anyway, so that was the festival, and then we had some really good conversations. We got a business lead for another company that we might try to partner with. That's got
they emailed me today. I need to get back to them, and I'll do that tomorrow. I was actually out.
This is a really
around.
good prepper product.
Especially if you're off grid, this is amazing. For those of you that have no ability, especially if you're down in Ozarks, Arkansas, where it's very stony and it's very difficult to put in septic tanks. Oh, we found the solution.
So hopefully it looks on the surface, it looks like a good cut. Somebody did not want to do it, so they recommended.
That's not what he said. No, they never. So John Willis is actually the one that contacted from SOE that contacted this company. It keeps catching his eye. So they emailed and he said, I just never got back to him. He said, but it keeps catching my eye. And he said, see if you can do anything with him. And so I was like, okay. And so, he said that. And I was like, well, yeah, I'll catch it after this festival and get it done. And I sat there and I couldn't get it out of my mind. So I looked it up and looking at everything, looking at the specs on it, looking at the price on it, how it works and all of that. And then all of a sudden ran through my head 20 different people that could be using this. Just in our community, extremely efficient. So we could put the cabin up back there and use that, and then have that back there. Put a tiny house back here, have it back there, and so so it's extremely efficient. And then you have manure and soil and gas for the greenhouse and all of that. And there's just so much that you have out of it. And it was like, my gosh, this is a no-brainer.
So I talked to somebody who's one of the originators of another new festival that's going to happen in October out in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him, and we're trying to figure out if our food tent is something that they would want to use or have, and B, if it fits into the schedule and it's something that they want to do, because we can't afford to take
what fits into the schedule,
the festival
and
that weekend.
Their schedule,
fits into our schedule.
It does.
Well, right now it does, but 6 months from now we got it.
No, we need to know if they want us or not.
We have to be able to commit locally before we commit halfway across the country.
No, I would commit there if they give us an answer now. I would commit to them.
Would you?
Yes.
What if it bumps up against something really important here?
It doesn't. Midwest Preparedness Festival is already on the calendar, so is SRF.
Okay.
So
so they want to know what you're talking about. It's a composting toilet.
Biogas. Go to biogas.com. And basically, yeah, that's what it is. It's a toilet, but it's not a composting toilet.
It captures the methane and the gases off, so you can use it for
there's different compartments, and it just pushes over. So it does one function, then pushes over, does another function, then pushes over, does that function. By the time it's done in the back function, that's your natural manure and all of that.
Yep.
So yeah,
that's what local prepper was saying. He says Jester's a really good guy.
Yeah. Which is fine. And we've got references for cooking that we won't kill anybody. So they just probably need to get a hold of Nicole Sauce and Spags.
And Jester and I had emailed at one point. This was
that's all right. Local prepper's taking care of
this.
Right?
Well, no, Jester and I had talked. Local prepper put me in touch with Jester many moons ago, but Jester has been extremely busy.
Oh yeah, they're especially
with his life and trying to get prep stock together.
Yeah. Oh, and there are early bird tickets for prep stock, so you need to get out there.
Like 3 or 4 left.
Is that all they have left?
Yeah.
Well, then you all better get out there and get them.
Yeah. And we're gonna try to get either local prepper or Jester on a live at some point.
Or both. Why not both?
I'd like to get both of them on. I really would. I told them that.
They work well together.
But I want to get them on because we as the community need to start promoting this, because it's my understanding that, aside from a couple of big festivals on the East Coast, there's really a dearth of stuff like this
Right.
out there.
Right. So everybody that was saying that they wanted to do a circle and be
All right,
vendors
Milkmaid.
and do all of that, this is one of them. So everybody said they wanted to do a circle and do that. Mrs. Hacks.
You get your studying tonight done? Or done tonight there, Milkmaid? Can't go to bed unless your homework's done.
Milkmaid, I'm glad you're doing that. You guys need to look into Chuck's class, Chuck Peoples, and see about getting him up there. That'd be a good community class, especially if you're into that stuff. So, all right.
HG says, I seriously looked at them, but it just depends on how to keep it warm. Or realize it's a seasonal use only, or if I could get a line.
No. So that's what we were talking about. So it would be a matter of a wood deck and or a greenhouse, and that would actually keep it warm. That's what John and I were talking about. This is doable. It's doable.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of thinking outside the box.
I like sleep too. It just seems really hard to come by lately, Ethan. It's just really hard, especially when her and the Hacks stay up until 2 a.m. talking
What
about
are you
the festival.
talking about? That's not true. When has Patty ever stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning?
You guys stayed up later than I did.
No, dear.
I went to sleep at midnight. You guys were still talking.
That's not true. They went back to their room.
But anyway, oh, that's the wrong one. But yeah. So, and if you guys know of any other festivals, let us know.
Oh, baby.
Let us know.
I'm so sorry. It is almost 9 o'clock.
Hey, Wes, it is a medical class. In fact,
you're going to be living up here anyway.
We're trying to get him to come out to our area. Well, I don't know when. I don't think there's a time frame. We got to get the numbers first, but we need 20 people in our local area to take this class in order to get it down.
Usually it's like $450 a person.
Like
is it 700 person?
Yeah.
And if we can get 20 people, he'll do it for us for $325.
$325 or $325 or $350.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, somewhere in there. You know. Mrs. X says she was asleep at 12:45.
Oh.
Well, all I know is you guys were up when I was still training. No, I take that back. You guys left the room and I went to sleep. Anyway.
You're weird.
You guys were talking. I was having a hard time staying awake. That's all that matters. Tiger says in between prepping is having a meetup in Texas, April 19th through the 22nd. And Ghost is having one in Hanging Rock, North Carolina, Hanging Rock State Park.
In March?
The first week, first 2 weekends, first full week of March. Yeah, March.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be chilly. I'm not sure I'm going to be hammock camping if I get out there. If I can get out there.
And that one's no vendors. It's just camping and
yeah, that
out,
one.
Right?
So okay, when you hear people talking, guys, and I figured this out. When you hear meetup, that's just a bunch of people getting together,
like-minded people hanging out.
Exactly.
That kind of thing.
And then whenever you hear festival or expo and stuff, actually festivals seem to be smaller, just in my experience.
Expos are the ones that are 4,000 to 5,000 people.
Right.
Well, so they say.
They're supposed to be. They're supposed to
right.
be. You know.
Right. I think kind of what Shelly pulled off was an expo, but I'm just saying. What Jason and Shelly pulled off is pretty amazing.
Well, it very well could turn into one.
Yeah,
it
easily.
very well could turn into
easily. One. I'd be shocked if it's not there by spring. And KSL is doing one in the spring.
Yes, and Kentucky Sustainable Living is doing one in the spring. SRF is in the spring. Midwest Preparedness Festival is in the spring. You know, so there's all kinds of. No matter where you live, guys, you can make one of these festivals. And it's like Midwest Preparedness Festival is free, or Preparedness Project is free. KSL was free. Self-Reliance, the tickets were fairly reasonably priced. You know, Wes, I don't know. I honestly don't know if it was the heat, because guys, it was like 115 degrees one day, 113 the next day. So I don't know if it was the heat or the expo itself that did not really. It's not one that I really want to go to again, and it's just me. I may have missed it. Did they say they had an estimate on the number of people that passed through KSL? Somewhere around 300 people. Somewhere around 300 people attended, which for the first time out was a really good turnout. It just the way it was set up, you couldn't tell how many people were there because the vendor floor, as you guys saw in the video, was huge. And then when people were moving between classes, they weren't having to move across the vendor area like some places do. So it was hard to gauge, but Shelly said they had somewhere around 298, 300 people. And it's only going to get bigger. That one I can say will only get bigger. And that's the thing about these festivals too. If they're not growing, they're dying. Tag and I were talking about that this weekend, and he made a very good point that if a festival is not growing, it's going to die, especially in today's environment. So if you know anybody that's a organizer of one of these things and they're not looking to grow, then you probably ought to have a talk with them and see if you can get them to change their mind.
It is strange that people don't want to grow these festivals because there's so many people that want to learn, and you should share. Well, it's important. It's kind of like giving your testimony, right?
Well, so, I can get it.
So.
I kind of understand the feeling because you want things to be intimate, and so everybody feels like it's special for them. And that's the sign of a good festival. That's one of the things I like about Midwest Preparedness Festival is that it has scaled very well. You still, at the end of the weekend, you still feel like you had an intimate setting, even though, it started out, the first one I went to, we had maybe 20 people there
right.
And 20, 30 people. And this last one, we had a little, what was it? 200 and
something like that,
250, somewhere around there. And, it still felt intimate. Now, I'm not going to lie. I told Darren at one point, I was like, we may have to set up a separate camp out just so we can get that small community feeling again. Ooh. If it grows too big. Tiger wants to do a couple of festivals next year. Well, it's doable, especially where you live. You're right at the
you're
nexus.
Right in the middle of a lot of them.
You're 4 or 5 hours away from 3 or 4 really good festivals.
She even that far? I didn't even think she was that far.
Well, she's in the
St. Louis area. She could be doing both Camden. She could do Camden. She could do Back to the Lamb, Self-Reliance Festival. She could do the Homestead Expo, Midwest Preparedness Festival. You could do all those. You're right.
So Mrs. Hack says KSL is March 22nd, 23rd. Okie Expo is the 21st and 22nd of March. So those are overlapping. So we need to decide which one we're going to.
We will do Kentucky Sustainable Living over Okie Expo.
April SRF is the 6th and 7th, and Midwest Preparedness is May 7th and 11th, 7th through the 11th. Gosh, that's going to be, that's not bad. They're pretty spread out.
Yeah.
They're pretty spread
out. Well, first of all, it's Shelly and Jason for Kentucky Sustainable Living and Okie Expo. Yeah, they are changing it back to March, which is great. But we will support Shelly and Jason before we go to Okie. Nothing against you guys. If you're watching, nothing against you guys. It's just, we're really trying to help them get kick started and all that.
Right. So. Right. Well, and we were talking, we need to prioritize the ones that are regional for us, So we would love.
Okie is regional for us. What are you talking about?
Well, Kentucky, no, regionals, Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Colorado.
That's what I'm saying. Okie is regional.
Okay. I thought you were talking about KSL. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to find any festivals on the Front Range in Colorado.
It's in Colorado. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to. Guys, I'm gonna check out. You go ahead and close.
Well, stick around. We'll
Garen,
close
I'm yawning and I'm like sliding down the chair. This is not professional. So anyway,
we aren't professionals.
Huh?
We aren't professionals.
It doesn't matter. I feel like crap. Look like crap. All right. Hey guys, I appreciate it. Garen's going to close you out, and hope you guys have a lovely week, and we will see you next week.
Yep. Well, with that said, thanks for sticking around, guys. I know this was a long one. Conversation once again was awesome. Okay, hang on. I thought my son and I were the only ones there when I first got there. Felt Leah, we were the only ones on the floor. Yeah, sometimes it seemed like that. Anyway, like we were saying, community is one of the most important preps that we should be working for, and it's probably one of the hardest things to start, but once you get it rolling, it can take on a life of its own, and you can really grow something special, and learn from our mistakes. Ask people that are in existing communities, whether it's a community like ours or it's a mutual assistance group that's been around for a long time. Talk to people, ask questions. And if you're in a community like that or in a circle like that and you're not sharing your knowledge, then shame on you. You should be helping everybody else get what we've got. All right. Everybody have a great week. Keep warm. Make sure that you check your stoves before you fire them up. Make sure that the flue and everything is working, and go out tomorrow and live a life done free. All right, guys, take care.